Hey guys, what's up? It's Living with Laurel 101 here today. So if you haven't guessed already from the background, this is going to be a sewing machine video. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use your own sewing machine and how to master it. So I have a Singer 2273, so it might differ from your machines, but the basics I'm going to be showing you should be able to apply to any sewing machine. So it's funny because about a year ago I made a video called The Struggles of Using a Sewing Machine, and that year I had no clue what I was doing with my sewing machine. I had so many problems, I was just so frustrated, I didn't know what I was doing wrong, and now this year I'm making a video on how to use a sewing machine. It is such an accomplishment, guys. I love my sewing machine now. I use it all the time, and if you have a machine, you need to keep watching this video and learn how to use it, because it is the best thing ever. So without further ado, let's get started into the tutorials. Okay. The first thing I'm going to be showing you guys is how to wind your bobbin. So this is the first step to your machine. It is very crucial as well, because if you don't get this right, your machine may jam or your stitches won't come out properly. So you need to make sure the thread is tight around the bobbin once it's completed. It cannot be loose or else your machine will jam and your thread will clump and cluster together on your fabric. So make sure you follow all these steps correctly so you can have the first step done properly. So let's wind our bobbin.
So to wind your bobbin, you'll need your bobbin, obviously. Then you'll need your spool holder. Then you'll need some thread. So you want to make sure the thread is going counterclockwise. So you put that on your spool pin, and then you put your spool holder on as well. But make sure the thread can still easily spin freely. So you first want to put your thread through this little metal thread guide, and it's a little piece that you can see at the top of your machine. Then you want to put it around the bobbin winder in a counterclockwise direction, and then pull the thread and place your bobbin onto the spindle and push down. Then you want to take your string and put it through the hole in the bobbin and then pull. Next, you need to push the spindle to the right, so that way when you push on the pedal, it'll wind the bobbin. And then hold your string that's through the hole tight, and then there you go, press on the pedal and it'll start to go. Once you've got enough thread, push it to the left and then take your bobbin out. Then take your bobbin off the spindle and cut the ends of the threads off. This is what the bobbin should look like. The thread should be tight around the bobbin. There should be no loose threads. And once you have that, you have successfully completed the first step of winding your bobbin.
The second tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys is how to thread your upper thread. So how to thread your needle. And this is another crucial step, because if you don't do this right, your stitches won't come out properly either. So winding your bobbin and threading your upper thread is very important that they are done properly. And if your stitches aren't coming out right, they're clumping or they're clustering together, or they look wrong, rethread your machine. It might be something that you did. Just follow all the steps carefully so your machine won't jam and everything will be smooth from here. So let's start our machine.
So to thread your machine, you need to put it through this little rectangular piece at the top, then follow the guides, the numbers, and loop it up to the top. So the next step is to move the dial towards you to lift up this metal piece so you can loop your thread around it. Next, you need to put the thread around this little metal piece just above the needle. The last step is threading the needle, and some machines have an automatic needle threader, but mine doesn't work, so I'm gonna do it manually. So you just want to take the thread and just put it through the needle. Once you've done that, all you have to do is put the thread behind the sewing foot, and there you're done. You've just threaded your machine.
So the next basic step on using your sewing machine is inserting the bobbin and inserting the bobbin case. So this is quite an easy and simple step, but it is crucial as well. All the steps are crucial. Just whenever you're inserting things in your sewing machine, just make sure you're being careful and you're being precise.
To insert your bobbin into your sewing machine, you have to put your bobbin into the bobbin case, just like that. And then you want to take your thread and put it into this little indent in the bobbin case, and then guide it along till you get to the middle little hole, like that. Then take the pop tab kind of thing on the outside of the bobbin case, and then have the string just kind of dangling from the bobbin and put it in straight. So you want to make sure that the bobbin case cannot move and it's in the indent of the machine. Final step is just holding your needle thread and pushing your needle down to pick up the bobbin thread. And then once you see this loop, just pull the thread out and then put both threads behind the sewing foot. And there you have it. Your machine is now fully threaded.
The fourth tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys is how to pick your tension, your width, your length for a straight stitch. For a straight stitch, you want to make sure you always have a width of 0. The length can be for your preference. The tension is usually always between 3 to 5. I always have it between 3 to 4, but just remember for a straight stitch, always a width of 0. So let's pick our tension, width, and length.
So to sew a straight stitch like the one I'm showing you, you need to put your dial towards a straight stitch, and then the length is to your preference. I usually have it between 1 to 2. The width for a straight stitch always has to be a 0, so just remember that. And the tension is usually between 3 to 5, but I have mine between 3 to 4.
The final tutorial I'm going to show you guys is how to actually sew with a piece of fabric. And this is exciting because once you reach this step, once you complete it, you have really mastered your machine, at least the basics of your machine. And that's exciting. So sewing your piece of fabric, the end result will determine whether you threaded the upper thread correctly, where you inserted the bobbin case correctly. And I'm sure if you followed all these steps correctly, it'll come out perfect and you'll be so super stoked that you can now use your sewing machine. So let's get into sewing.
So to finally sew your fabric, you first need some fabric, obviously, and then you want to put it under the sewing foot. You want to place the sewing foot down and then begin to sew. So you can press on the pedal foot as fast or slow as you want, and then you want to just guide the fabric with your hands. You don't want to be pulling at the back of the fabric, and you just want to be guiding it along as straight as you can. Once you reach the end of the fabric, pull up the sewing foot, take your fabric out, and there you have it, your first straight stitch. Congratulations, you have just mastered using your sewing machine.
So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you learn how to use your machine, and hopefully it helped you master your machine. I'm so excited for you guys. It is such an accomplishment. It's so exciting for you to finally realize that you can actually use your machine now. It's the best feeling. If this video helped you master your machine, comment that down below. I want to read your comments and be excited for you because this is such an accomplishment. I cannot state that enough. Well, at least for me. That's how I feel. Also, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, if it helped you in any way. You can also comment down below if you want to see more sewing videos, sewing hacks, sewing tips, and yeah, other videos with my sewing machine. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel to see more videos that I post. Also, I've come up with a video schedule, so I'm going to be uploading every Saturday and every Wednesday instead of just random days of me uploading any video that I want. Of course, that was fun, but now I want to be organized and have a schedule for you guys. So Saturday and Wednesday, a new video will be out on my channel, so be sure to subscribe and put that notification bell on so you can know when all my videos are coming out those days. Happy sewing! Bye, guys!